What's going on, everybody? Ronan MMA here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to the recent fight news that Max Holloway will be fighting Arnold Allen. I don't remember which event this is going to be taking place at, but I'm going to give my overall reaction and early predictions and maybe like how I think this fight might go kind of deal. But before I get into that, please like and subscribe, okay? I just drove through a snowstorm to go get some caffeine so I could be energized enough to do these videos. So appreciate it. Okay, appreciate the work. And also, I'm putting out quite a few videos, like more than most MMA content creators. And also, go check out my debunking of Keon Kimura's baloney racism exists in the UFC video because it's a good one, in my opinion. It's a long one, but a good one. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'm going to thank you in advance, actually, just so that you feel bad taking my thank you without doing what I've asked you to do. Okay. Now, Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. Okay. Arnold Allen has looked great as of late. Well, actually, since he's been in the UFC, he's looked pretty damn good. Max Holloway, on the other hand, has had some fights recently where he has taken a ton of damage. And I know that's like kind of what Max Holloway does, and he's never been dropped and all this and that. But like even in the fights where he sets records for punches landed and all this stuff, and has moments where he slips punches where he's not even looking at his opponent, like in the Calvin Kattar fight, he still took quite a bit of damage in that fight. In the Calvin Kattar fight, he took quite a bit of damage. His face did not look great at the end of that fight. And then his fight with Yair Rodriguez was insane. And he took a lot of damage in that fight as well. And then in his third and final Alexander Volkanovski fight, that was like a full-on like bully beatdown, and it was kind of hard to watch, if I'm being honest. Now, still, Max Holloway somehow has managed to never be dropped, which is incredible, but it's not really something that you want to be like. You're being remembered for your toughness is not necessarily always a good thing, because it necessarily means that we've seen you take way more damage than you should have, and you were just able to withstand it for now. Like, I'm really hoping that we don't see Max Holloway morph into like a BJ Penn type character. He's very young, all things considered, and he's taken the most significant strikes, I think, in UFC history, as well as probably dishing out the most. But, you can't take away the ones you absorb. And Arnold Allen, fortunately for him, has not taken that same kind of damage. But that doesn't mean I think that Arnold Allen's going to win. I think that if Arnold Allen tries to bum rush Max Holloway, kind of like he did against Dan Hooker, I don't think that that's going to work out for him, because I think that Max Holloway will be able to withstand it. But basically at this point, it's a question of like, when is Max Holloway's chin going to give? Because they always do. There's never a guy that fights the way that Max fights, that takes as much damage as Max takes, and then doesn't end up getting KO'd towards the end of their career. I just don't think that Arnold Allen's going to be the guy to do it. I don't know. I think that Max Holloway is the Robert Whittaker of the featherweight division. He takes on all the contenders, and he basically blocks it, which is why I honestly think it's insane that they've made that interim title between Josh Emmett and Yair Rodriguez. Like, how they just don't want Max Holloway in a championship opportunity, because they know that he would take that title, the interim title, most likely, if he was fighting Josh Emmett, or if he was, we've already seen him beat Yair Rodriguez. It was a close fight, but he still beat him. And it was fairly recently too. So there's no real reason to like run it back right now. I think that he would beat Josh Emmett, and then he would be the interim title holder, and then we'd have Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski 4, which doesn't make sense after what Volkanovski did to Max Holloway. So Max is in an unfortunate situation, because he's a big boy, right? He's not making 35. And I don't want to see him go to 55, because I think that's where we'll see him get KO'd. I don't think he's got the power to keep up with those guys, or the muscle mass, You know what I mean? He sounds like a 12-year-old. And I'm not knocking the dude because he'd obviously beat the shit out of me, but the testosterone levels with like him compared to Dustin Poirier, or like him compared to Justin Gaethje, like it's just, there might be a few matchups where he'd be able to get by fighting his style, but I think it works because there's not really a whole lot of guys at featherweight that can just put you out with one shot. And the ones that can't necessarily land that shot with consistency, like maybe a Josh Emmett or somebody like that. This is a tricky one, man. If I had to pick early, gun to my head, I would probably say Max Holloway. But, man, he took a lot of damage in that Alexander Volkanovski trilogy, and it was not a good look. And I really don't want to see the time when Max his chin just gives on him and he just gets flatlined. That would be a horrible thing to see. It's part of the sport, but it would still be horrible, especially a guy like Max Holloway who's just like so nice to everybody. Except for when he's trying to hype himself up, in the trilogy there. But I don't know if Arnold Allen's ready for a Max Holloway, because Dan Hooker's a good win, but he ain't no Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? So, also, Dan Hooker should have never been at 145. That was insane. I can't believe he even did that. I know he fought there before, but that was a stupid move. He moved up to lightweight because the weight cut was an issue for him. So, yeah, like I said, man, gun to my head, I'd probably go with Max Holloway over 5-round decision. But Arnold Allen's good, dude. And that could be a scary fight for Max. And if Max starts losing the guys like that, then I would almost think it's time to get out. Like, you have been a long reigning champion already. You've made a ton of money. You fought for double champ status. And you're like 30 years old. Like, I remember that line after his Dustin Poirier. Well, I don't know how old he is now, but I remember that line after the Dustin Poirier fight. He's like, guys, I'm only 28, guys. And I'm still getting better. Guys, I'm only 28. I'm going to look up his age real quick. 31, yeah. Still young, but he's done it all, dude. We don't need to see you do more. I don't want to see him go on, like I said before, a BJ Penn-esque type, like, what was it, 11 in a row? How many did BJ Penn lose in a row? I can't remember. I don't want to talk out of my ass. I'm pretty sure it was some crazy number, though. And that would just be horrible, man. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that for Max Holloway. I like Max Holloway too much, man. But I don't think he's beaten Volk ever. Not that I think they would even give him an opportunity to fight him again, because, like, buddy, that last one was horrendous. And I don't think he does well at 55, and he is way too big to make 135 pounds. Why is there no fucking... There we go. Oh, I was way off. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Jesus, dude. To guys like fucking Ryan Hall, who, yeah, he's tricky, but we've seen what happens if you can just, like, run away from his leg lock attempts. After a couple minutes, the guy has zero striking whatsoever. And I know that Clay Guida likes to turn back the clock on people and be like, I'm still here, but Dennis Seaver, dude, you probably shouldn't be losing to Dennis Seaver. Yair Rodriguez one, that was not nice. I don't know why they gave him Yair. Frankie Edgar. Rory McDonald. Is that a joke? BJ Penn fought Rory McDonald. Jesus Christ, dude. BJ Penn cut some weight, dude. He probably could have fought at 135 pounds. I don't understand that. Because he wasn't, like, the most cut guy. He's 5'9". He probably could have fought at featherweight. Well, he did. Eventually. But shouldn't be fighting Rory McDonald. I know he fought Lyoto Machida at heavyweight, too. The dude's a G. But I don't want to see Max Holloway turn into that, because BJ Penn's been chasing guys with machetes and getting knocked out at bars by guys he's got no business getting knocked out from. You know what I mean? That would be the last thing I want, especially since Max has kids and a lovely wife. So, gun to my head, I'd go Max Holloway by decision. But he can't take many more fights like the ones he's been having, because eventually that chin's going to give. and there will be a very tragic ending to Max Holloway's career. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I feel like this fight could probably be for the interim title, more so than Josh Emmett and Yair Rodriguez. But I know that would put the featherweight division in a very awkward situation because, dude, Max Holloway just beats them all. It's literally the Robert Whittaker, or like the MMA guru calls Merab Dvalishvili a cuck, because he just beats all the contenders for Aljo, and there's some truth to that. I agree with him. And at least Robert Whittaker's not friends with Izzy, and Max Holloway's not friends with Volk, so they're not doing it to like help him out. But yeah, if Max keeps winning, dude, like, what are they gonna do? I don't see Volkanovski losing anytime soon. If he loses to Islam, that's fucking whatever. I honestly might pick him in that fight though. But if Volko keeps winning and Max Holloway keeps winning, like, what are they gonna do? So, in terms of the division, I would like to see other guys get a shot. So I wouldn't mind seeing Arnold Allen winning, despite the love I have for Max Holloway. And either outcome, Yair Rodriguez, I would prefer to beat Josh Emmett, because I think that would be a very exciting fight between him and Alexander Volkanovski. The featherweight division's a bit of a mess, man. We need some clarity. Okay? So, yeah. Those are my thoughts on that fight. Alright, so, go on, like and subscribe. Don't be a cunt. Just fucking do it, alright, okay? I'll do my whole videos sounding British like this, since everyone likes the MMA guru, right? And he says things that not necessarily are funny, but they sound like they're funny things because he talks like a British person. So just go on, like and subscribe. Don't be a cunt, like I said. And I'll see you at the next video. See ya.